Hey, Dr. H here, another episode of Physio on the Go. Today we're sort of on the go. We are shore fishing here at Big Bear Lake. One little trout so far, hopefully we'll get some more. But here is the view. I did a 20-mile run on the other side of that mountain yesterday, so I'm kind of resting some today, easing my way back into things. So today we are going to continue our discussion of the cardiovascular system, blood flow through the cardiovascular system, and we're going to start talking about congenital malformations and shunts. And so we're going to get right into it and get after it. All right, so here we are with the regular situation in our cardiovascular system. Of course, over here we have the right side of the heart, and over here we have the left side of the heart. So we'll put it here, yes? So the right side of our heart, we had this discussion in a previous video, but the right side of the heart is receiving the blood from the body in two places: the inferior here, inferior, and superior here, vena cava. And of course this is quote-unquote blue blood, because it's deoxygenated blood. Okay, so anyway, the heart receives the deoxygenated blood on the right side, sends it out through the pulmonary trunk to the lungs to get oxygen. Okay, then it's going to return to the left atrium as oxygenated blood and exit out this blood vessel here, which is the aorta. So the aorta is the main artery in the systemic circulation that's carrying oxygen out to all of the body. These three vessels up here are going to the head and the arms, okay, the top of the body. This one here is going down to everything below. Okay, so that is our normal situation, and as long as we have oxygenated blood coming out of the aorta and heading off to the top of the body and the bottom of the body is going to receive oxygen like it should. Okay, so this is the normal situation. It's worth noting that there is nowhere in here where the right side and the left side are directly connected. They are connected through the pulmonary circulation and through the systemic circulation, but there are no direct connections between the right side and the left side. Okay, now that's different in a fetus, so you can check out our video on the why circulation is different inside of mom to look at that. But in you and me as adults, or after having been born, this is the situation. The right side of the heart does not directly connect to the left and vice versa. Okay, so what is something called a shunt? A shunt is a general term where we have a connection between two things in the body that aren't supposed to be connected. Okay? In the heart, shunts are generally things that are connecting the right side and the left side directly. Okay? Either from left to right or right to left, we'll see. But anytime we have connections going directly between the right and left sides of the heart, that is a shunt. And that's not supposed to be like this after we're born. Okay? Now, we have to also know one other thing about the heart, and that is the pulmonary circulation here. This is only going to the lungs and back. That's not very far. The systemic circulation here has to go all the way to your toes and fingertips and head and back. That requires more pressure, okay? So we need to understand that under normal conditions, the pressures on the left side of the heart, containing the oxygenated blood, are much higher than they are on the right side of the heart, okay? So if we were to have a hole connecting the right and left sides somewhere, let's just put it here between the ventricles, okay? This is the right ventricle, this is the left ventricle, okay? If we were to have a hole there, fluids always go from high pressure to low pressure, so in fact the shunt is going to go this way, yes? So if we had a hole here, if we had a hole here, okay, even if we had a hole, let's say up here, connecting these blood vessels, the shunt would go from the left side or the oxygenated side to the deoxygenated side. Okay, so we would call that a left to right shunt. Okay. So most of the time when we have any opening connecting the left sides and the right sides, okay, then that shunt is going to go from the left side to the right side. Okay. And why is that? Well, because there is a higher pressure on the left side than the right side under normal conditions. Okay? Now, so what does that mean? So the first question to ask is this going to send deoxygenated blood out to the body if we have a left to right shunt in any of these places? Are we going to send deoxygenated blood out to the body? And the answer to that is no, we're not. Okay? We're not going to have deoxygenated blood going out to the body. Why not? Because it's a left to right shunt. Yes? The blood is actually going from the oxygenated side to the deoxygenated side. Okay? In all of these cases. So what we're actually doing is sending some oxygenated blood back to the lungs. Okay? That's not efficient, but you're not going to be sending deoxygenated blood out to the body. Okay, so two important points there. First of all, if we have an opening between the left sides and the right sides, any point in here, blood is going to go from the left side or the oxygenated side to the right side or the deoxygenated side because of the higher pressures. Point number one. And point number two is that is not going to result in deoxygenated blood heading out to the body. You are just sending oxygenated blood back to the lungs. Okay? So that's important. Now, how is it possible to get deoxygenated blood out to the body? Well, the only way that you're going to send deoxygenated blood out to the body is if somehow the blood in the aorta becomes deoxygenated blood. Yeah, how are we going to send blood out to the body that's deoxygenated? Then the blood in the aorta has got to be deoxygenated blood. Okay? So, the only way you're going to send deoxygenated blood out to the body is to somehow get deoxygenated blood into the aorta. Okay? Now, that will never happen with a left to right shunt. The only way you're going to have deoxygenated blood going out to the body is if these shunts are not left to right, but they are right to left. Okay? So right to left shunts. Those are going to send deoxygenated blood somewhere into the aorta and therefore out into the body somewhere. Okay? So, Another key point, how do you get deoxygenated blood out to the body? You have to have a right to left shunt, where we have deoxygenated blood from the right side going to the left side without going to the lungs first. Okay, so that is a right to left shunt in the cardiovascular system, in the heart here. And that will result in putting deoxygenated blood into the aorta and sending that out to the body. That won't happen with the left to right shunt. The next question, of course, would be, well, how do you wind up with a right to left shunt? Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a second. But for now, the only way that's going to happen is if the pressure on the right side is higher than the pressure on the left side. Okay? Which normally would not be the case if we just put holes in here and didn't do anything else. Okay? So what would cause that to change? Well, we're going to have a separate discussion on Eisenmenger syndrome, and that will fill that in. But for now, let's just understand, what is a shunt? It's a connection that's not supposed to be there between two things. In the heart, that is something connecting directly the right and left sides without going through the lungs or through the systemic circulation. If we just put a hole anywhere in there, the pressures are higher on the left side, that's a left to right shunt, and that will not send deoxygenated blood out to the body. But if the pressures happen to be higher on the right side than the left side, then we would get a right to left shunt and put deoxygenated blood in the aorta and out to the body. Okay? I hope that was helpful. I'll give you one last view of the lake here. So take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching Physiology Fundamentals with Dr. H. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to get outside and go for a run.